What is going on, guys? Welcome to more Black Friday Final Fantasy Brave Exvius content. If you haven't seen the banner review yet, that is up today. If you didn't get a notification for it, you missed out on it, you want to see it, that is live as well. And then yesterday on Thanksgiving Day, I know a lot of you guys were out there probably hanging out and partying around. We did put up a special podcast, all right, with a good friend of mine, Meet Me on Mars. It was a good time, good conversation. If you haven't had access to that yet, that is also on the channel. So do go make sure and check that out. If that video does do well, you'll probably see more of those in the future. If it doesn't do well, you know, likes, comments, views, that all tells me as a content creator what you guys actually like. So if it doesn't get a lot of views, we probably won't see any more of those ever again. But with that being said, guys, what is going on? Let's talk about the support banner reroll today as we get into this video. So obviously the support banner reroll, that's what you're here for. This is what we're talking about here, right here. 7-star guaranteed resummon support banner. This does cost, as you've guessed, I think it's $45.99 right there. So we're going to be talking about that, and then later on in a different video we'll be talking about the other bundles. So this is going to be $45.99 if you want to spend Lapis or something. That's not what this is going to be. It's not going to be available for Lapis. Let's get into what this has available for you as a player and what I suggest you guys do as far as pulling on this banner, not pulling on this banner. If you decide to pull for it, what are your odds? What should you go for here? So the $45.99 support resummon banner does indeed have 25 different units on it, and it's not just support. So we can actually go online. This is a website I'm on, some sort of website, lapisproductions.gumi.sg. Opened it up. I have this open in a browser. It's the same thing in game, but this makes it easier for me to do and gain access to it for you guys. So you can see right here, 7-star resummon support, drop rates for the 1 7-star unit from the 11 summons. So these are the different 7-star guarantees that you can go ahead and get on this banner. Now we're going to go over them real quickly. Neverending Hope, Rivera, Sylvie, Eurasia, Ignace, Seaside Nicole, Maritime Strategist Nicole, Summer, Lynn, Fina, King Edgar, Figaro, Beowulf, Ignacio, Orin, Elephant, Machina, Heavenly Technician Lid, that's CG Lid, Warrior of Light, Lena is in here, Aerith, Myra, and Folka, as well as Lotus Mage Fina, and then Sacred Shield, Charlotte, Awakened Rain, Warrior of Dawn, Galoof, Sieghart, and Beryl. So as you can see, it's not only just supporting characters, but the top tier healers and the top tier tanks are in here as well. So out of the supports, the ones that stand out for me the most, Sylvie, definitely, absolutely still an insane character in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Summer, Lid, and Fina, still one of my most favorite characters, along with Sylvie, in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Absolutely top tier. Those two, I would say, are the best out of those supports. Other really good supports in here that will probably stand the test of time for you as well. Ignace is insane right now with his buffs, with his new awakenings, his ability awakenings, absolutely crazy damage mitigation, attack, defense, magic, and spirit buffs, and imperils, and imbues, all of that good stuff. LB generation, very strong character, as well as Seaside Nicole with his damage mitigation as well, is definitely up there. Maritime Strategist Nicole has some weaknesses. I wouldn't really be re-rolling for Maritime Strategist Nicole. King Edgar of Figaro, if you need a breaker, that is a top tier breaker for sure, as well as the option to still pick up for the future Orin. If you're looking for the future of Orin, when CG Tidus comes out, Orin's going to get a little bit of love. He's going to do a lot more damage. I think he gets something crazy like 25 times additional multipliers or 30 times multipliers on his skills. Crazy character. Still not a character that I would reroll for. So if you need a breaker for support, I would definitely aim for Summer, Lid, and Fina. She's still my favorite breaker. Tied up with her depending on what you exactly need. King Edgar of Figaro has other breaks. I still like Summer, Lid, and Fina for the sheer utility that she can put in your team as a breaker. So those two for breakers are my top two on this banner. Elephim is going to be a pretty decent, pretty fantastic unit. Let's go from decent to fantastic when she gets her awakenings as well. She's going to be basically a battery that's going to allow you to have HP, MP regeneration, attack, defense, magic, and spirit buffs, and solid breaks as well. She also has access to light and imbue as well as light and peril, but that's what she's going to really be doing. She's going to be doing those things primarily. I still wouldn't reroll for her. She's still like a consolation prize. If you get close to the end of your rerolls and you're looking for a breaker, Elephim, you land on her, you can go ahead and take her there. Now, moving into other characters, aside from the breakers and the full-on supports, obviously we have Aerith, Myra, Folka, and Lotus Mage Fina. If you had the ability to choose between any of these characters, oh, and Warrior of Light Lena, obviously, it would be up between, for me, Warrior of Light Lena as well as Myra. I did just do #1 healer best in game. Those characters, in my opinion, very, very, very powerful. If you want some more, if you have higher end gear and you want a very strong limit burst generation and trust support over and over and over without really disrupting how you're going through the battle, Myra is going to be your pick. If you're a newer player and you really want that healing throughput with a little bit of limit burst generation through your team in a full-on, anti-status elements, attack, defense, magic, spirit break, charm in, stop, resist, all in one unit, then Warrior of Light Lena is going to be there. If you couldn't get either of those and you still want a healer, Folka is still fantastic, Lotus Mage Fina is still fantastic, Aerith is still fantastic. You can't really go wrong with any of these characters. If you get any of these as 7-star characters, you're going to have plenty of heals for time to come. #1 is still #1 because there always has to be a #1, but that still doesn't mean that the other characters are bad. They are all fantastic healers in the long run. And when it comes down to tanks as well, these characters, the only one that I really would tell you to shy away from is Beryl. Lotus Mage Fina, fantastic healer, really old character. Beryl, older character, got a rework. And even though, I'm trying to make a parallel, like Lotus Mage Fina, really old, still really good. Beryl kind of like is behind these other characters. Sacred Shield Charlotte, Warrior of Dawn Galoof, and Sieghart definitely stand out in front of the rest, in my opinion. If you still need a magic tank, you want to aim for Sacred Shield Charlotte. Awaken Rain and Beryl are still there, but Sacred Shield Charlotte is so much better than them that it isn't even funny. Warrior of Dawn Galoof and Sieghart, especially because of Sieghart's buffs, very, very strong characters as well. The thing that makes Sacred Shield Charlotte, Warrior of Dawn Galoof, and Sieghart stand out and apart from Awaken Raid and Beryl is the ability for them to be in charge of your general mitigation for your team. That is so big. They each offer 50% damage mitigation for your party or around there, which is very, very, very powerful and very, very, very prevalent when you're looking to build up a party. So if you're looking for a tank, Sacred Shield Charlotte is going to be the magic tank of choice here. Warrior of Dawn Galoof and Sieghart, doesn't matter which one you get, they're both incredibly powerful. You're going to want to have awakening materials for Sieghart. So if you're like a brand new player, you're going to have to get those ability awakening materials for some of the events to make him better. If you had to choose between Galoof and Sieghart, I'd probably still take Galoof, but they're both still incredibly powerful. Now, as far as super TMRs go, if you're someone in here saying what super TMR should I get, I don't really care about units. I'm trying to get a 7-star with a super TMR, because remember guys, you did get a 100% super TMR Moogle that comes with these. Now, out of all of these characters here, a couple of the super TMRs that kind of stand out for me, if you're pulling specifically for super TMRs, King Edgar of Figueroas is pretty nice. It's a very high attack accessory that gives a status ailment full ribbon to whoever has it equipped. Traditionally, getting a damage dealer with a status ailment full status ailment protection accessory kind of costs you some damage somewhere, whereas King Edgar of Figueroas, you can kind of change your build up, still has a lot of attack on it, and it's going to give you that full ribbon effect there. Heavenly Technician Lid, very old, but I still use her super TMR to this day. It's not a make or break thing. It's a hammer, and it has HP on it, so you can put it in item roll and get more HP, more defense, and it does give you 3 limit burst generation crystals per turn. And then we'll get into some of the newer ones. Myra, very strong spirit, not rod. I always want to call him a rod of staff. Aerith has a very high spirit accessory. Folka has a very high MP in spirit, super TMR as well. Sacred Shield Charlotte's, though, definitely going to be one of the better ones in my opinion. Her shield is absolutely insane. Heavy shield, 20% HP, 20% spirit, elemental resistances, lots of spirit flat on the shield, lots of defense on the shield as well. Sieghart shield's pretty good too. Beryl's super TMR, I do enjoy using Beryl's super TMR. One of the reasons why I don't really like something like something like a rod or a staff or something in my supports and my healers is because I can't put High Tide Plus and Item World from it. Whereas Beryl's super TMR dagger, if you get access to that, that's a dagger, so you can get High Tide Plus on it. It has a lot of spirit on it. You can go ahead and throw it on your healer pretty easily, and that's what I currently use on my healer. We somehow ran into multiple Beryls. I think back when he got his rework, we got Myra and then a bunch of Beryls when we were trying to go for Malphasi, but it worked out in the end. I got 2 Myra, I got the 4 barrel somehow on those like 2 or 3 pulls we did, and I've got that Super Team art, and I haven't looked back from it. It's on my Myra still to this day, and will probably always be there with its insane high spirit, and it's a dagger, so it gets the high tide there. Warrior of Dawn Galoof Super Team Art's pretty strong. Seacart Shield's pretty strong, but nothing crazy. Ones that I would avoid, obviously, Lotus Mage Fina 7-star. Her Super Team Art not the greatest. Focus is okay, but like I said, kind of shy away from it. Don't really care. Myers is okay. Don't really care, though. Ares is pretty good. It's a lot of spirit in one stat, but a lot of people overkill themselves on how much spirit they get. Not that big of a deal. Warrior of Light Linus is pretty strong, but I wouldn't like go crazy over it. Machina's isn't really necessary. Enabling dual wield for a character, not that big of a deal. Elephim's Super Team Art is a two-handed instrument. Like I said, for a healer or a support, I'm a huge fan of getting double daggers high tide, so I would personally never use this. Orin's Super Team Art one-handed katana, pretty powerful, not that big of a deal. Ignacio's axe is interesting because it's a two-handed axe, which has a 1.1 to 1.9 variance on it, so 1.5 average. Very high attack, fire elemental axe. The problem is there's not a lot of characters that actually want to use it. It's a very, very, very strong Super Team Art with no good place for it to go, really, in this day and age. Beowulf's is kind of whatever. Figaro's we already touched on. Summerlin Finas is very powerful. Dump bunch of elemental resistances as well as 50% defense and spirit. So if you're looking for a super strong tank team, Super Team Art, that's going to be right up your alley. Maritime Strategist Nicole has a very powerful body piece. Lots of stats on it, defensive stats. I think it might even have MP refresh on it, if I can remember, or limit burst generation per turn. I think it is. It's one of those two things. It might have both. Very strong there. Seaside Nicole's for the Leviathan. Oh no, wait, Seaside. Oh, I get these mixed up. Seaside Nicole's the body piece. Seaside Nicole's the body piece that has the limit burst generation and possibly MP refresh on it. Maritime Strategist Nicole, this is the Leviathan rod. My bad, guys. Listen, you call him Seaside Nicole, I think of, or Maritime Strategist Nicole, I think of the sea. You call him Seaside. I'm very lost here right now. Ignace's is a very powerful hybrid dagger. Not that big of a deal, though. Eurytia's a very tanky headpiece for your supports, but nothing you should really aim for. Sylvie has a very powerful shield. Rivera's is kind of okay. And then Never-Ending Hope, Never-Ending Nope, still in this Super Team Art category. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Recap right here. If you're looking for top tier supports, we're going with Sylvie, Ignace, Summerlin Fina, King Edgar of Figaro. Definitely hands down those 4. As far as healers, Warrior of Light Lena and Myra above the other 2, but Aerith, Folk, and Lotus Mage Fina are all still really strong. They're just not as strong at doing certain things as Warrior of Light Lena and Myra can in team composition. So if you're going for the end game, you know, maybe if it's your first pull, you're feeling kind of spicy, because you can re-roll 9 times. So you have, you know, 25 units, 4% chance each to get in there and try to get some of these 7 stars. There are good options for all these things. And like I said, Sacred Shield, Charlotte, Warrior of Dawn, Galoof, and Seacart. Out of all those tanks, if you're trying to get some tanks, you need both. And maybe you need like a strong 7-star tank period. You don't have a mage tank, or you don't have a physical tank. You don't have either of them. And the first tank you pull is like Barrel. You can go ahead and try to get a better one. There's a bunch of other units on this list for you guys there. So that's going to be the reroll tier guide thing of Bobber for the 7-star support. Hopefully this got it to you before. Hopefully I got this to you before you did the poll. If I didn't, let me know what your results were, what you were aiming for. Let everyone else know what was going on in your head when you're doing this. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. If this does get enough likes and you know, views period, I'll do the other 2 obviously when they do come out, the attack banner and then the what's the other banner? Oh, there's a magic attack banner and a physical attack banner. So I'll have to see how those are divvied up as far as units go, where the hybrids are and things of that nature, guys. Make sure you check out the banner review, and then if you want to, check out the podcast. Much appreciated. Thank you guys for the support. Much love. See you in this crazy weekend as we still are plowing through. I got to do the ability awakening stuff. Those are the hybrids are back. They got massively buffed. So if you want to see that stuff as well this weekend, make sure you don't miss it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.